Jacksonville's Martin Luther King Jr. Parade is being called the biggest in city history. More than 200 groups marched through the streets of downtown for more than 2.5 hours today. Channel 4's Tarek Miner is joining us now live from Metro Park, where the events of the day are just wrapping up. Tarek, what a beautiful day for a parade.
Tom, it was absolutely gorgeous today. Very few clouds in the sky at all to speak of. 65 degrees, perfect day for a parade. The event's wrapping up today, as you said, the Battle of the Bands behind me here in Metropolitan Park after a full day of celebrating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. What started as a march with only 25 people 30 years ago has turned into a citywide celebration honoring the life of Dr. Martin Luther King.
And of course, it has grown over the period of years.
Richard Wilson is one of the founders of Jacksonville's MLK Foundation, one of only a handful of people who walked in King's honor at FSCJ before King was honored with a national holiday.
Dr. King, I think, set a precedent, and this is what he believed. He believed in marching for justice. He believed in marching for peace, marching for love. And to take, join hands, all races join hands, and to march in unity.
And march they did today, from Jefferson Street to Metropolitan Park. High school bands and community groups, many with a message of their own.
Because this is one of the dreams that Martin Luther King had. He wanted us to be educated. He wanted us to go forth and have dreams and to accomplish those dreams. And so we picked this day to give out over 3,000 books in the parade to remind them to keep this dream alive, to keep the vision alive, that we can do and be whatever it is that we want to be.
We want our young people to take away from this. We don't want them to just think that this is a day where they can come in and celebrate a man and not know about the man and not know about the struggles that he went through, all of the liberties and the freedoms that are now enjoyed as a result of Dr. Martin Luther King's work.
At the end of the parade route, hundreds paid tribute to Nelson Mandela and other local civic leaders who died this year, who embodied the characteristics of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Nobody greater than you.
And those marchers paid tribute to local civic leaders, including Jesse Spades, Dr. Chester Aiken, Melvin Austin, and Stetson Kennedy, all of whom city leaders say they have served Jacksonville and would have made Dr. Martin Luther King proud. We're live here at Metropolitan Park. I'm Tarek Miner, Channel 4, the local station.
Tarek, you and Melanie Lawson anchored our coverage of the parade this morning on News 4 Jax. What part of the parade moved you the most?
You know, I'd have to say it was the unity of the people, seeing people from all different races come together to actually see the dream and vision that Dr. Martin Luther King had. You know, and I kind of envy those folks who actually were alive to live through his times. You know, kind of like you, Tom. What do you recall the most about Dr. King?
Well, Tarek, I remember the assassination in April of 1968. I was a cub reporter in Washington at the time. But I'll tell you, the memory that really sticks with me the most was the March on Washington in 1963, when Dr. King gave his now world-famous I Have a Dream speech. At the time, people in the news business missed the story. There was so much concern, particularly in Washington, that the March on Washington would become violent, that the story the next day was the march was peaceful. And Dr. King's speech was actually hardly any mention of it at all. It took a lot of time for people for the journalists especially, to get caught up with the people who were there and realize they had heard a speech that would last forever.
It's stories like those, Tom, that I love.
Tarek, thank you for your report from Metro Park.